really excited to join this workshop. So yeah, nice to meet you. So and who is my next? Will?
Sure, thank you.
Yep.
My name is William Adams. I'm a project manager here in Japan. My expectations for this workshop, I'm familiar with project efficiency metrics and have taken other courses, including Six Sigma, things like that. So just learning more about what this one is specifically and how it compares to maybe my current understanding of those processes. In one word, a characteristic of support that I appreciate. In Japanese, I would say kamitayo, which doesn't really translate too well in English. It would be like legendary support or just that God level support where you go the extra mile to make sure that you're really.
I have the word
in
English. It is exceptional. We are going to watch a video about these exceptional experiences. So the word in English will be exceptional experiences.
Exceptional. Thank you. Noted there. So yeah, for me, that's what we always strive for, just exceeding expectations and doing the best we can to make sure that we are always improving the player experience. So that's me, and nice to meet you.
Amazing. Nice to meet you. I have learned a word in Japanese.
So next one, who's next one? Kay or May? Can you introduce yourself? Or typing?
Typing maybe? I think Yuri is just typing. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Kay.
Oh, thanks, Kay. And yep. So yeah, Kay, so what is your position? So sub lead, I think, not sub lead, shift lead. Yep, cool. Cool. And how about May?
Nice to meet you, Kay. I don't know if the pronunciation is correct, but I'm gonna try it.
Kay is.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna try
it. Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
yes.
We can.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Mei Kogai. I'm located in Japan, and my position is shift lead. So, actually, I'm same as Atsushi-san. I have no idea what we will do in this workshop, but I hope learn about many things in this workshop.
Cool.
Nice to meet you all. よろしくお願いします。
よろしく.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. You're going to learn a lot, I hope so, because we are not only going to talk about best practices, we are going to talk about experiences of our daily days, because we are going to talk about player experience, and player experience is built about memories, perceptions, senses. So we are going to talk about a lot of things. And I think that the Asian culture is all about experiences. You have experiences everywhere, so you need to share me your experiences in order I can tell the other part of the world about your experiences.
Yay, well, me. Looking forward to talking about many things. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, May. I guess maybe next Yuri, if you're ready, you can maybe chat. Okay. Yep. So Yuri will chat in her introduction.
Nice to meet you. My name is Yuri Matsuoka, Riot Games Japan team leader. I don't speak English. I will chat.
Okay, cool.
No worries. Go through the chat. It doesn't matter. Yeah, in these sessions, if you feel more comfortable to be chatting with me in this thing of the chat we have right here in this Zoom, feel free to chat. It doesn't matter if you do not want to talk. It doesn't matter. feel free, feel comfortable. The idea for you is to have these sessions, enjoy them. I'm not gonna be having you here suffering. So the idea is you to be comfortable and feel free to communicate in the best way is possible for you.
Cool, cool.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, there we go.
So,
Thank you, Yuri.
Oh, nice.
right, it's the first time I have been in a position to manage a team. I'm looking forward to learning a lot. I love games, so I want to try to support the players from their point of view. Yes, this will be the clue, understanding that players, understanding their needs, their expectations, so you can approach in this exceptional experience. I say always whenever I am talking with my workshops or my conferences, I say that we need to create wow moments, that whenever we interact with when a product or service, we need to say, wow, this product or service is amazing. And this will be our clue this week, trying to construct these amazing experiences. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. And I can see.
Thank you.
Yeah, Albert, can you introduce yourself? Yep.
Hi. Hey, Ariana. Hi, my name is Albert. I'm currently based in Singapore, and I've just joined Riot Games. This is my first month. Yeah. Previously, I was also in the customer experience industry. I was actually with Rockstar Games. I have been in this industry for the 7th year right now. Yeah. So for my expectation of this workshop, definitely is to learn more and to experience what different countries are actually doing, also so-called worldwide look into customer experience. And one word of characteristics that support service that I actually appreciate, definitely it would be empathy. Yeah, because I think understanding the players and coming from their viewpoint is very important for us. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yeah.
And I think that Peter, okay, you've already introduced yourself. Okay. Good. Oh, Joel, nice. Ariana, you can see the Peter and the Joel's self-introduction.
Well, amazing. Joel, John, I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but I'll try it.
Joel,
in
Joel,
charge, Joel?
Joel,
Okay.
Oh, you
In
can call
charge.
me.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
You can pronounce it on Cho. Cho.
Joel.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. This is hard
Joel.
for me. You are going to be learning from best practices, and I'm going to be learning Japanese this way.
Yeah, so he is Korean. So,
Yeah, so we're
Korean. So
Yeah, Joel is
Wow.
Korean thing.
harder. So I have been working for Riot Games for a long time, but I think I don't have enough experience and knowledge about the services yet. So this workshop will be helpful, and I look forward to for your kind cooperation. My name is some difficult. Yes, I knew. Nice to meet you. The only thing I know how to say in Japanese, it was gonna be maybe watashi wa Ariana desu.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very good. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
very good.
I tried. I did my homework.
Yeah, I have a Mexican, not Mexican, Spanish, hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista.
Muy bien,
No?
hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah,
I
it's,
like it.
yeah, it's a Terminator. It's Terminator.
It's our approach for our languages. It's a little bit. So, I don't know who's missing.
me, I think. My name is Park, and I'm the interpreter for Care Side, so I'll be representing for them.
Thank you so much. You'll be
Super.
helping us. You need a clap because I don't know how to speak in Japanese, and they do not how to speak neither in English, neither in Spanish. So we are in trouble.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. So let's start. Let me show you a little bit of what we are going to be talking this week. I'm going to make you a couple of questions in this session. We are going to be interacting each other because I know it's a lot of theory. So that way we are going to be passing these sessions is with some exercises. We are going to have some videos, and also we are going to be talking about experiences, as I told you. So the agenda for this workshop. So we are going to know about these best practices I have just told you. This is a COPC, the SDI, the Service Desk Institute standard. Also, a little bit about ITIL framework. I don't know if you know it, but we're going to be talking about these frameworks. The first day, today, we're going to be having information about the introduction to Service Desk. Also, I'm going to introduce the Service Desk certification standard because this will be our backbone, and you are going to be knowing this standard for very first time. And we are going to pass later on. This workshop will be a holistically approach for having these best practices. We are not only going to talk about maybe the management of the service desk. We are going to be talking how to set the direction, the strategic part of the service desk, process, procedures, the people management. The talent management will be a key important term in these sessions, because I always tell my customers that if we spread happiness in our employees, we are going to spread also happiness in our customers. So we are going to take a look to this talent management life cycle. The fourth day, I think we are going to be talking about customer experience. And at the end, we are going to take a look to the metrics and the performance of the service desk. Maybe with a little bit of metrics of the efficiency of our service desk, and also with metrics for customer experience. So knowing the current state of the operation of a service desk will be a critical success factor for any organization. As part of the strategy, we are seeking to promote customer and employee-centric culture, as well as digital transformation. So for this reason, it is necessary to note the elements of these global best practices that will allow us to achieve these objectives. This workshop will be addressing how these best practices can drive operational efficiency, service delivery quality, and maybe as consequence, customer satisfaction, in your case, player satisfaction. And in this workshop, we are going to be taking as backbone the Service Desk Institute certification standard and the relationship with other best practices of the industry, such as ITIL, COPC, demonstrating that they can coexist in the same environment. Also, we are going to be talking about some frameworks of customer experience, but this can have a lot of hours to have maybe another matter of discussion in other sessions. So this is the scope for this workshop. And if you have any question in the meanwhile I'm going to be presenting, please let me know, write it in the chat, interrupt me, raise your hand, maybe whatever you need to do, but don't left with these questions or doubts in this workshop. This is for you, enjoy it, so feel free to interrupt me. And we are going to start with the introduction of these global best practices. And I'm gonna be starting showing you a poll in order to know if you know one of these best practices. You are going to have a pop-up in your screen. Select the best practices you know about. This may be a COPC, ITIL, SDI, or if you do not know any one of these, type no. Perfectly, we're having 5 votes. I can see that some of you know COPC. COPC, I'm going to be talking to you previously and later on about this COPC, but COPC is specifically for contact centers. So that's the main reason that we are going to be taking parts of COPC, because they have similar things with the Service Desk Institute, but it is not the same. So perfectly. Some of you don't know anything about these best practices, so I'm going to be introducing these best practices this week. And some others know COPC. As I told you, this standard is for contact centers. So let's see, let's start. This is for me in order to know if how can deeper I can go. So let me introduce these best practices. And another question for you, I'm going to be answering a little bit. Do you think that service desk and a contact center are the same? Yes, no? We are going to be discussing right now this.
Services, contact center.
Call center and a service desk are the same? No. I can see some no's right here. Do you think yes, no? Everything is valid right here because we are going to change this mindset in these sessions. You say no. Most of you are saying that they are not the same. So let's see. Perfectly. You can see the results. The 11 persons are saying that they are not the same. So let's see if they are or they are not the same. Here we have every time you see this book with this some sign, you are going to be having this one. You are going to be having a definition, a book definition. So if you wanna be clear about this is a definition, and it's about the frameworks, and I'm gonna be explaining you these definitions. So here is a basic definition about call center. When you call and say an airline, maybe an airline company, a television company, a bank, the person you are dealing with at the other part of the phone will be an agent. Perhaps a representative, a consultant, an associate, we call them as this in some other practices, and the office or department that this person work with will be a call center. Sometimes a call center is consisting about 1 or 2 persons sitting beside the phone and answering the calls of the customers. But often we have a large number of persons that are attending right here, organized in rows, sitting beside the phone and answering these customers' calls. To the customer, the call center will be the voice of the company. If you are angry, you are often getting mad with the person that it is at the other side of the phone. And the contact or call center, which name is correct? Well, with the evolution of these contact channels, we have evolved from the call center to any other contact channels. So the correct word right here will be contact center, because we are adding more communication channels. There is not only right now a call, we are focusing on other communication channels. So if you hear contact center is correct because we are having more communication channels. And the definition for the service desk. The purpose of the service desk is to serve as the entry point of all the ongoing interactions of the IT support related. This is the single point of contact. You can see in some other literature, this SPOC, single point of contact is the correct word. This purpose of the service desk practice will be capturing all the demand of the incident resolution, the service request, and this should be the entry point of all the interaction that we have with our users and our customers. The term service desk will refer to a wide variety of groups of resources that are there for solving the inquiries of our customers. As we have a team that it is involved of answering these practices, this will include maybe the incident management, the request management, relationship management, maybe configuration management, and many other practices that are involved in the operation of the service desk. We are planning to have this effective communication channels, and we need to have integration in the seamless experience. Good communication channels are going to allow that our users and us as a service provider are interacting and exchanging information that can be convenient for all the parties, and we are going to ensure that we are providing a quality service with the information that it is consistent for our product, our service, and the organization. Right here we have a meme that it is talking about a help center, and we have an agent that it is assisting a customer, and the first one is trying to understand what the customer want to have, and at the end they escalate the incident, and at the end the last agent realized that he didn't know if they are providing that service. So this is a part of the experience. We need to understand the business, the market, and the customer expectations. That's why I choose this meme for you, because we need to take care about, as you told me in the introduction part, We need to be empathetic about what our users want to have right there. So this is the definition of the service desk. Remember that the clue right here will be that a call center or contact center is based on outgoing calls for telemarketing, product services, maybe debt collection. And right here in the service desk, we are supporting all the IT related interactions, maybe issues, maybe requests, maybe answering doubts of our players, but they are not related on telemarketing or product service or debt collection. This is the main difference, because when we go deeper, for example, the ones that know COPC, the metrics that we have in COPC are about, for example, number of sales, number of debt collection that we had per analyst. And in services, we are not having that. We are having maybe number of solved incidents, or maybe number of service requests solved. So the interactions are quite different. Up to here, everything clear? This is the basis. Yeah? And now my question for you, with these definitions that we have take a look, do you think that service desk and contact center have something in common? Yes, one yes up to now. No, one. Someone is saying that they are not sure. So let's see. These are the results. Some of you are saying that yes, they have something in common. One of you said that no, they do not have something in common. And one of you is not sure. So let's see. We are going to take a look. And the answer is yes, they have something in common. I have just told you that we have agents that are seated right there in order to answer the inquiries. Yes, we have maybe different purposes. In one of them, as I told you, we are trying to collect maybe debt or be selling. But in the other side, we are just answering our customer inquiries, trying to solve their issues and their requests. The common will be that both of them have a culture, a customer-centric culture. And the interactions in both of them are handled by a group of employees. Remember this, every day we are going to start the day with a quiz. So I think that this one is going to be in your tomorrow quiz. Interactions are handled by a group of employees, not a specific persons. It doesn't matter if Ariana is attending the customers or the players, and maybe later on Peter hang up with the customer. It doesn't matter. They want to have their inquiry solved. This is the goal. And in other words, the customers are reaching a service, not an individual. It doesn't matter if we attend the customer, they want to have their inquiry solved. So we are reaching a service, not an individual. Agents or analysts, both of them of these terms are correct, are cross-trained persons that had a variety of contact times that can handle for them. So we are having cross-functional skills in our agents. Customer contacts are being distributed considering the availability of our analysts and also considering the skills. As you know, in the service desk, we are having different levels of support. And maybe in the first level, we are having the easiest part because we are handling the ones that we can handle in the first contact. And if we have other complex interactions, we are going to escalate to the second level of support. So we need to understand the skills required to provide the service. Agents or analysts have access to the information about the organization, the products, the services, the business, maybe the policies or the resources needed for provided service. As well, it's important to know that agents and analysts are empowered to make decisions to take actions for their customers. Remember, in the previous slide, I told you that agents are going to be the voice of the customers, as well as in some of the cases, they are representing the organization. So we are being the voice. We have only one opportunity to create a very first impression, a good impression for our customers. And we need to track in a system in order to quantify the number of contacts, the service level, register all the information, and the data, this data is going to be used for planning, as well as for having service improvements and tracking all the information of our users and our players, knowing and understanding the needs, expectations, the demands, and will help you to be planning all the support service that you are going to deliver. How are you going to know if you need, I don't know, maybe more human resources in place if you do not capture the demand? So this tracking system will help us to know the demand. Yeah. So they have something in common. I have just showed you that they have something in common. Even though we have different purposes, we have something in common. And I'm going to show you the activities, the main activities of Service Desk. These activities are focused on what it is established in the Service Desk Institute standard. And the first one will be that we as a Service Desk, we need to deliver services that are supporting the business objectives and also the desired outcomes. As well as we need to ensure that all the interaction that we have with our customers or players are managed effectively and efficiently. How we are going to do this, considering the quality assurance. As you said in the introduction, we need to understand the customer needs, the expectations, also the preferences, reading the feedback. You hear a lot of feedback. I saw it in the social media. I was doing my homework whenever I was planning this workshop. I made a research in your social media. You have a lot of feedback right there. You need to understand the feedback that you have about your players in order to understand the needs and expectation. Also the market, you need to compare with your competitors and understand what they are doing in order to provide the characteristics of these amazing services. We need also to provide a clear communication channel between the customers and the organization, the business, the Service Desk, because if we do not engage each other with these communication channels, having a clear path, we are going to have maybe dissatisfaction in our players because we do not know how to capture all the information. So the dissatisfaction is going to be here. You also need to manage the customer expectations. As I have been telling you all of this session, you need to manage all the expectations, considering what are the needs, maybe knowing the characteristics of the profiles that are playing your games, maybe understanding the demographics, the behavior in the social media, the behavior in the apps, the behavior in the games, understanding if they use, I don't know, mobile phones or smartphones, or they are playing in a console or in a PC. This will help you to understand the needs and expectations. Maybe if we provide, I don't know, we are adding a communication channel, maybe this is gonna be a website. If you add a website and the end user, the front end, cannot be open in a smartphone, we are going to have dissatisfaction in our players because of this communication channel. So we need to understand all the profiles of our players in order to provide and fulfill these expectations. Right here, you also need to identify the service improvement initiatives. As I was telling you, we need to capture the feedback, understand the feedback, but we also need to understand and analyze the feedback. With this information, you need to translate it into improvements of the service. It is not enough to understand that our players are not happy. We need to do something. Maybe understanding what they are unhappy, what can we provide them in order to be happy, maybe understanding the root cause of the unhappiness. And with that information, we are going to implement these action plans. This improvement culture will be part of all our frameworks. We are going to be talking a lot of this continual improvement. It is not enough to capture only the feedback. We need to close the loop of the feedback. And I always tell you that if you have complaints and detractors of the service you are providing, we need to be with this emotional intelligence and psychological safety to capture the feedback, understand that the complaints are gonna be gifts. Because we say, oh, we had a lot of love points in the service we are providing. Yes, love points are amazing, but you are going to learn more about the hate points than about the love points, because the hate points are gonna be the gifts that you need to translate it into these continual improvement actions. Also, right here, we need to be in adherence with all the organizational policies, the procedures, develop these effective procedures. In some of the cases, in my experience as auditor and also as consultant, I can see that you have in the organization some processes and procedures that are with a lot of waste, inefficient processes and procedures, or maybe you have an amazing and beautiful document in your drive, but you do not use it. It is only for fulfill the audits or maybe for compliance, but you do not fulfill that process. So you need to adjust the process and take care about these best practices. Yes, these best practices are amazing, but you need to adapt and adopt what you fits about the processes, the procedures, and these best practices. So if you do have effective processes, maybe we need to start with this continual improvement for your processes and procedures. Also, the information security policies are important in this service desk, and also the local regulations. The guys in India were talking me about the hard policies that they have in India about the games, for example, the banning. So it's interesting to know the local regulations because you are going to be understanding also the needs and expectations. They mentioned and had an anecdote about that. If a player turn on or go out in that game in some of the times, they are going to be banned. This is a local regulation in La India. The guys told me. So they had issues in some of the specific locations right there in India with the energy. So with these problems with energy, the players were dropped off because they lose their energy. So the players were banned because of the energy issues. Imagine the insatisfaction of these players because of losing the energy, and after that, they are going to be banned for all the life in the game. Imagine that. It's amazing. So that's why we need to understand the local regulations and the policies, the information security. All of this information is really, really important. What they told me that they were capturing the feedback of the players in this situation, and they analyze every single case of this ban. So with this information of the feedback and the relationship of the ban in that day, they contact every single player with this problem and they drop off with the ban. So imagine the satisfaction of these players because they analyze case by case. That was amazing. For me, that was a clear example of the player experience. They were quitting the ban for the players and they continue players. So this is a clear example about what it is customer satisfaction, understanding the policies, the regulations, and also managing the feedback of your players and your customers. Right here in the service desk, you need to be in charge of managing knowledge creation and maintenance. For your agents, you maybe have right there knowledge for being more efficient, maybe have guidelines, scripts for your agents in order to be adhere to these policies and procedures of the organization, and also for having consistency in the service you are providing. And as well as I told you, we need to promote this continual improvement culture in all the desks. These are some of the basic activities that you are running in the service desk. Up to here, everything clear? This is making sense to you? Yeah, everything clear. I hope. In Mexico, we have a quote that we say, everything clear as dark water. If everything is clear as dark water, I'm gonna be scared. So I hope this is clear as white water, not as dark water. Yeah. And I'm going to show you right here the different types of contact. I told you that a call center and contact center and our service desk have something in common. This thing is also one part of our common things. We have 3 different types of contacts. This will depend on who is starting the contact. First of all, the inbound contacts. In this type of contacts, the customers initiate the contact. This is most common for our service desk. The players are starting the contact because maybe they are having an issue or they want to request something about their account or maybe the game. This is the most common one for service desk. For contact center or maybe for call centers, we are having as an example buying a ticket or maybe having problems with an emergency or assistance when we are having an insurance of our car. Maybe that can be an example. In our outbound interactions, our agents are starting the contact. This is the main difference. Inbound is that we receive it inside. The outbound, we go out for the contact. So this means that our agents are initiating the contact. This is common maybe for telemarketing. Yes, maybe telemarketing, but also in contact center and the services we have it, maybe following up a request or an incident for our players right here. This is the outbound, but also we have blended interactions. These blended operations are the ones that it doesn't matter, our agents or our customers can have interactions. We have in and out interactions. So we have these three types of contacts. Remember that for our service desk, the most common will be the inbound because we are receiving these interactions for our customers. These are the three types, and we are going to be manage them, all of them. And right here we have roles and responsibilities of our service desk. These are the main ones. The roles and responsibilities that we describe in the following sections are intended maybe to identify the core work that you need to be done in your service desk or contact center. They have some positions in common. And this figure is showing us a typical functional organizational chart. Naturally, you may not be organized like this in your service desk in exactly fashion, but the size of your operation can have a significant effect in the structure of the organization. The precise structure of your organization isn't important. You need to ensure that you are assigning the roles, the responsibilities, and define these clear accountabilities to each role. So first of all, we have the senior management. Then we have a service desk manager, maybe human resources area, and our operations area. In operations, maybe we are having quality management, workforce management, knowledge management, a reporting team, maybe a team leader with all of the agents right here. So up to here in quality management, you can have agents or analysts that are in charge of the quality management, the Q&A analysts, maybe you are knowing them as well. And also we are having maybe workforce agents for constructing the planning, the scheduling, the forecast, the real-time management, and maybe all as well knowledge management analysts. But it is not enough to have this quality management. This is example of some of the roles. These are also working for the contact center. The only that it is not working for the call center is going to be the service desk manager. Maybe we are going to have the contact center manager, but all of them are quite similar, yeah? And we are going to be making some to each one of these. The manager. As a manager, you are going to be responsible or promoting the service desk, leading and also inspiring your team. The team to be effectively, be efficiently working together, understanding the business needs and the business outcomes in order to provide this fulfillment. Also, for the manager, we are going to set all the communication for the goals, the targets, aligning these business objectives and recruiting and developing the individuals. You're responsible or choosing and finding the right talent for fulfill all the business needs, ensuring that all the activities of the service desk and the relevant best practices are known for the practice and the operation of your service desk. So you are going to be the example for all and the model for all the other part of the team. And you are representing the support service. Whenever you are interacting with other business areas, you are representing the service desk as a manager. So this is really, really important because you are going to be coaching, maybe implementing this mentoring, motivating the team, applying these reward and recognition programs. So the human aspect of the service desk, most of the part will be in charge of the manager. The supervisor and the team leader. This is a managerial position that it is reporting and it is referred maybe for the first line of management. The adherence of the schedule will be part of the responsibilities of this team leader. You need also to ensure that the quality team is meeting the quality objectives, providing the quality observation. Maybe you are working in the service desk and in the lines, and you need that some agents are needing coaching. So you are in charge to be coaching the individuals and saying, maybe you can do this in this better way, or maybe you need to understand the customer emotions because you are also getting frustrated whenever you are talking with the customer. So you need to take calm and breathe whenever you are talking with a customer. Or maybe you are sounding a lot of maybe robotic. You need to follow the script, yes, because you need to have emotions. And we are responsible of providing this observation and coaching to the individuals. Also, we need to work with the quality programs in a systematic approach and managing the performance reviews with our agents and the team meetings. We are responsible of the performance and the development of our teams. And we need to take care about the workload, the peaks that we are having in some of the periods that you had in your daily operations. And we are representing the service desk in some special projects. Maybe we are having some campaigns or maybe releasing a new feature in a game. So you are going to be representing the service desk in some of the projects as you are doing it right now. You are representing all of the agents that are part of the Japan support or the Korea support. So you are part of this representation. The agent or the analyst will be the staff that are processing all of the information, the customer transactions, maybe calls, emails, well-being queries, fax, email. In some of the cases when we had fax, remember that times, email, the locations, offices, and maybe we are catching the information and dispatching to the specifically team in case that we cannot solve in the first contact. We professionally represent the organization and we represent the service desk to the customer. We act as the voice of the customer to the organization because we are representing them. The issue that our customer, our player is having in that moment is ours, right, in that moment. So we need to be the voice of the customer. We need to approach consistently, considering the quality, the customer experience, and we are part of the operation. We are a critical part and we need to fulfill and be adhere to the schedules, to the policies, to the procedures, and understanding the business. The quality managers and our quality analysts are going to be leading and managing the quality observation processes, maybe the KPI monitoring, or maybe the incident and request login monitoring, ensuring a consistent calibration. I always tell the teams, and we are going to talk about quality management I think in 2 more days, but quality management in some of the cases is seen as the police office in the service desk, because you are catching the defects and also trying to be with this penalization of what you are doing well or not, and also about what you are not doing correctly, and you are feeling like you're having threats right there. So I think that these need to be evolving. We need to also considering right here that every single part of the quality assurance form that we have in the review is going to be an opportunity for providing an amazing experience. Yes, we have maybe errors or defects in the ways we are treating our customers, but we are going to learn of every single interaction that we had. So that's why we are having these quality managers and quality analysts, because they are ensuring this calibration, that they are preparing all the observations, doing the reports of the performance of our teams, identifying maybe these opportunities of improvement, tracking the observations and the results of our customer measures. And also, I think that this is really important. We need to cross and have this correlation about, yes, we are fulfilling the service level agreements, but how about the happiness of our customers or our users? Is the SLA only the most important part whenever we are providing a service? I say that no, because in some of the cases, we fulfill the SLA. Yes, our SLAs are green, but how about the happiness? Our customers, our players are happy with the service we are providing? Maybe no. Maybe we only focus on fulfilling the times, but the happiness of our customers is not a match right there, because we have maybe not been empathetic, or we do not understand the need or the expectation that our players were trying to contact us, or maybe we are not having these soft skills in order to capture the needs of our customers. So that's why it's really important to have these quality assurance reviews. Also, another important position is going to be our workforce managers and analysts. They are in charge of analyzing all the current demand, the status of our operation, capture the volumes in order to analyze, traduce into a forecast, and later on, they are going to pass to the schedule. Also, the real-time monitoring. The real-time monitoring is going to be the minute by minute of the operation. Maybe we had the schedule, yes, but we release a new feature and our workloads is going to a peak. We need to react in that moment. You are going to be adjusting the way you are performing your schedules. Maybe having a lot of resources, taking one from another time, or maybe taking advantage of the follow the sun model and capturing all of the information and all analysts of other places. So that's why we understand this information about the workforce management, because we need to react in the real-time management and continue planning, understanding the needs, the business, the market, and our customer expectations. These are the basic responsibilities of the service desk. We are going to be talking a little bit more about them, the quality assurance, the workforce management, and as well, we have right
Ariana,
here.
Ariana, I think yeah, Park has a question.
Sorry, I don't know. Who is gonna have the question? Go ahead. Sorry, I'm passionate. I'm talking. I'm happy.
Yeah, Park, do you have any question? No.
If you do not feel comfortable, type it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So
no worries.
Yeah, I could see the Park's hand right here.
Yeah, if I can speak slowly, I can. No worries. I'm gonna try it.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries. I'm gonna try it. So I'm gonna talk about a little bit more about the roles and responsibilities of the service desk manager. And as I was telling you, this responsibility is to be promoting the service desk in the organization. Also, this quality assurance part, we are going to manage in an effective way the governance of the practices that we had in the service desk, understanding the quality and also the cost effectiveness of the service provision. You as a leader, as a manager, you need to understand maybe the cost of the contact. If we are in maybe changing in the communication channels, we need to understand the cost per communication channel, the cost per contact, and if we are ready to have this volumetry and workload in our operation. This is responsibility of the service desk manager. Also, we are representing the service desk in the strategic and the operational levels. They are going to be part of maybe some boards. They are going to be listening the voice of the business and also the voice of the players. Your responsibility is to understand what your players want to have as this service. As I asked you in the introduction part, what do you enjoy about a service support team? And understanding these preferences of your customers, of your players, you are going to translate it into improvements of the service you are providing. This is your responsibility. Aligning, and this is also important, promoting and communicating the outcomes, the desired outcomes, the business goals, understanding the service desk mission and vision statement based on the organizational one. We are going to take a look to this mission and vision statement of Riot Games. You told me we want to be the most player focused organization in the world. Yes, I think that this is the mission statement of Riot Games, but how about the one of the service desk? Your mission and vision, I don't know if you have a mission and vision statement in place, but if we are starting defining this mission and vision statement, we should take care and analyze that we are going to be part of the fulfillment of the big one. The big picture is to be the most player-focused organization in the world, and you are going to be part of this fulfillment. So this definition of the service desk will be being maybe the most player focused organization of this player support service in the world. You are going to achieve these wow moments, but understanding the one of the organization. This is your goal as a leader. And also inspiring. This is really, really important. Listen your agents, listen your team, because you need to understand the preferences. In some of the cases, I take a look in the operations of all of the countries that I'm working with, and they do not take the time to listen the preferences of the agents. I don't know if they are happy right there in the positions. Maybe they want to be in another path. So this will be critical, because this can have insatisfaction when they are working, maybe frustration, and this will be part also as consequence driving this customer experience. So that's why you need to listen the preferences of your agents, understanding maybe the motivations, if they want to grow their career. So this is part of the service desk manager responsibilities. And making a little bit more zoom to the service desk analyst responsibilities, you need to manage as well these customer expectations, but considering the life cycle of all the service desk interactions, providing maybe an appropriate support level with all the interactions of processes, procedures that you have. This one is going to be really important. Document the customer interactions in an accurately and consistent way. Because in some of the cases, imagine that you are the agent that handled the first contact interaction. You capture all the information, but you capture information that you only understand. How about if you do not end the interaction because you cannot solve the issue, and you pass it to another team member? He or she is not going to have clear path about what you were trying to mean when you were documenting the information. That's why you need to capture in a consistently way. If you provide rules and regulations, procedures to this information will be amazing, because you are going to be having this consistent approach or the way we are documenting. And it doesn't matter if it's someone in Japan, in Korea, or maybe in Bucharest or in Sofia is taking the incident or the request, you are having the same approach to them. So ensure that you are documented in an accurately and consistent way. And maybe you need to start sharing the knowledge. Documented knowledge about the support that you are providing, some of the services, also the products, because you are going to be sharing in the whole globe about what you are doing. And you need also to communicate in an effective way with all of the stakeholders that you are having in your operation. This information is going to be available for all the stakeholders, and we need to be analyzing in order to maintain this knowledge and understanding of the complete organization of the service desk. So these are the clue activities for the service desk analyst and the service desk manager that you need to be managing and understanding. If you right now do not have it, well, maybe later on you have a lot of hours in order to start thinking about how you are going to be implementing these roles, these responsibilities, and this improvement to the service you are providing with these best practices. Up to here, everything clear? Yeah? Yeah, perfectly. The industry best practices. Right here, I'm introducing you the industry best practices for our service desk. Some of them are just for the service desk, and other ones are, as I told you, the COPC standard is focused on the contact center. So that's why I put you a mark right here, because you need to remember that this one is for contact center. I mean that it is not impossible that they can have some of these practices in this environment, but we need to understand the main difference of what a service desk and a contact center is. So don't worry if you are implementing these best practices. Some of them are useful for the SDI also. We are going to be talking about them. For example, the workforce management, the quality assurance process. Some of the metrics of customer experience are the same for the call center and for the contact center and the services. So we can take them, the parts that are useful of COPC, we can take them and put it together to the backbone that is going to be our Service Desk Institute standard. When you listen about the Service Desk Institute standard, let me tell you that the goal of this Service Desk certification standard was because they realized that we had in the market a lot of frameworks and practices for the contact centers, but we do not have some of these practices for the Service Desk specifically. So in the United Kingdom in 1988, more or less, they realized of this information and they start writing this Service Desk certification standard. Since that moment, all of the organizations in the world that are aligned to these best practices can share the way they are performing these activities, maybe benchmarking their operations, sharing. I always say that we are a community. We are a community that shares the information, share the best practices, share the way they are performing the activities in order to do the things better. And the mission statement of the Service Desk is provide brilliant service desk, brilliant teams, brilliant services. So I'm going to try that to adapt this mission statement of the Service Desk, and that the Riot Games Service Desk team is gonna shine, is gonna be a brilliant team, that it is going to be remarkable because the way they are performing their activities, trying to have the happiness of their players, and we can engage with all of the frameworks. So first of all, with the Service Desk Institute, we have 3 standards. The first one is gonna be the one that certifies the teams. It is the one that we are going to be talking in these sessions. It is the Service Desk certification standard. Service Desk, the C is of certification. So it's the Service Desk certification standard. Also, this is certifying the team. So right here, we are going to be certifying the Riot Games Service Desk. This one, the SDA, is the Service Desk Analyst standard. So we have a complete standard for governing all the information of the Service Desk Analyst. And the other one is gonna be the Service Desk Manager standard. We have individual qualifications for the Service Desk Manager and the Service Desk Analyst. There are complete courses that we are talking about the processes, the procedures, maybe the techniques for solving problems, all the effectiveness, the attitudes of our agents, the managerial position also. So in these 2 ones, we certify individuals, and this one we certify persons. A team, a complete team. ITIL is going to be a framework. This framework is based on the best practices for implementing these services and understanding the service approach. We are talking about IT services. The way that we are providing value whenever we talk about ITIL is going to be, the mean is going to be the service. In the mean, by we are enabling the services, we are providing value to our customers. So this one is a framework. Remember this one for our final quiz. The ITIL is going to be the only framework that we are going to be talking. ITIL is a framework, SDI is a standard, and COPC is also a standard. So this is the tip for the quiz. And ISO standards. ISO standards, we have the ISO 20000 is about managing services. The ISO 22301 is about continuity management. In some aspects of your operations in the contact centers, in the service desk, and also in the business, you have this continuity management. I don't know, you have, of course, you have a business continuity plan and also a disaster recovery plan. So this is part of this ISO standard. ISO 27000 is about information security management. And ISO 18295 is about the quality aspects, about the focus on contact centers. And this one is about quality and customer satisfaction. So we can have a lot of metrics, a lot of standards, a lot of best practices. And I'm missing this one. This one is my favorite. We had a lot of frameworks for the customer experience. And for example, this one, the CX framework, we had a lot of new frameworks that are on trend. I don't know if you have even heard about XLAs, experience level agreements. Have you ever heard about them? I see no, you haven't heard about experience level agreement. We are going to be talking a little bit about them. We had a complete framework that it is talking about experience level agreements. Is just the same as the service level agreements, the one that you are fulfilling in the contact, in the resolution times, but this one are talking about the experiences you create, the happiness that you are creating with your players, with your customers. So we try to promote that you create amazing experiences with these experience level agreements. This is the fancy or the trend in the customer experience. Knowing about this experience level agreements, we are going to be talking a little bit about them. And we had more and more frameworks for this customer experience that we are going to be talking a little bit about them. So these are the best practices, and I'm going to be talking to you about more this SDI standard, but this is like the summary of the best practices that you need to know for providing the service support right now. Up to here, everything clear? Did you are knowing that right now, you know a little bit more about every single of these best practices, these industry best practices, and we are going to go deeper with the service desk certification standard. Let me introduce a little bit this service desk certification standard. This standard is based on the EFQM model. I am typing it on the chat. Is the European Foundation Quality Model. This is the clue for your quiz. You need to know that the Service Desk Institute standard is based on the EFQM model. This is a quality model that provides us the approach for a better understanding of a holistically operation. Why a holistical operation? Because we are not only focusing on the technology for providing the service. We are knowing that we need leadership, we need policy, we need strategy, we need resources. Right here in resources, we are not only talking about financial or technological resources, we also need the human aspect. The workforce management is right here, providing a service catalog, knowledge management, all of the information of these practices is right here. Also, we need to focus on the complete life cycle of the talent management, is this one. Since the very first you are publishing a vacancy, maybe recruiting staff, and also we are sending maybe the exit survey or the exit interview for a member that you are going to quit the operation. So this is the complete life cycle of the talent management. And this big one is the processes and procedures. Right here we have maybe incident management, request fulfillment, relationship management, continual improvement. So we have a lot of processes right here to fulfill. These ones are the enablers. These enablers are setting us the targets, the objectives, and the desired outcomes. The strategy of the organization is going to be on this part, this enabler part. We're having the half of the standard is part of this. If we mark it, this one, these ones are our enablers. And these other are the results. So we are going to match. Yes, we are having a satisfied workforce. We define the talent management life cycle, where we are going to measure if they are happy with the job. In this one, we are going to manage the employee satisfaction. So we are going to measure if they are satisfied with your job, if they feel passionate, if they feel that they are contributing to fulfill the objectives and the targets of the organization. Also, we are going to measure the KPIs of the processes and procedures. This one is right here, managing information and performance results. We are going to check if the KPIs of the incident management are being fulfilled, if we are taking care about the business-related metrics, maybe the reporting activities or the target alignment. This is going to be part of this. Also, the resources is we are going to measure right here in the management information results, because this one, and this one are going to enable the service we are providing. And as consequence, we are driving this one that it is the most important, the customer experience. If we had the correct directions, the correct strategy, the resources in place, the human, the financial, also the technological resources, we are going to have happy customers right here. And this is going to be seen in the managing customer experience, right here, understanding the feedback, capturing the information about the relationship management, providing the customer experience program. I don't know if you have right now one program for this, but you need to listen the voice of your customer. And this is going to be the most important part of our standard. In the complete part of the holistical view that we are having with these enablers and results, the results are going to be measured if we achieve the outcomes that we define right here. Yes, we are understanding that, first of all, the business needs, later on capturing the customer needs, and we are going to base the strategy and the operation of our service desk, considering this as an input and establishing the direction in these ones. And at the end, we are going to measure the complete results. That's why we are saying we define, we control, we measure, and with these results that we are capturing, we need to improve the way we are performing the things. So this is the standard of the SDI. Let me introduce it to you. This is your first time, so you are getting known to this standard. And this is not the only part, sadly, but we need to do some in this complete concepts, and I'm gonna zoom in. This is the complete standard. We have 138 criteria. Let me erase all of the things that we have right there. We have 138 criteria: leadership, policy and strategy, people management, resources, process and procedures, employee satisfaction, customer experience, management information and performance result, and corporate social responsibility. As you can see, every single concept had a lot of information about how we are providing the things. Let's see. We have 44 KPIs. This complete 8 concept is about the KPIs that we are going to be performing in the service desk. But if we take a look to the leadership and the policy and strategy, first of all, as leaders, we are responsible of representing, as I told you, we are representing of what we need to show to the organization, to the business, and we need to be clear about the service desk scope. That's why we need to develop and perform our leadership skills, provide transparency of the service we are providing with these reports and all of the information that we are capturing. And we had a lot of details in the concept that we are going to be talking in the session of these days, that they are related with maybe the COPC standard, with the ITIL framework, in order to cover this holistically approach of a service desk. As you can see, it is not a checklist of what we need to fulfill. This is a complete approach of an operation that we are focusing on the human aspect of the service, on the technological aspect, the processes, the procedures, and also of the results. That's why we are basing on the EFQM model. Yeah, everything clear? Yeah, finger up, finger down, finger up. Perfectly. And I'm gonna compare this services certification standard with the other best practices, so you can have a clear path of what it is the difference between all of them. Yeah. The services certification standard, as you can see, both of them, COPC and the services certification, are standards. The first one, the Service Desk Institute standard, is written by expert input. We have experts from all of the globe. For example, I'm representing Latin America and all the complete vision of Latin America. We have persons from Asia, we have persons for Emirates also, we have persons from Dubai, from Europe, we have persons from Australia, that they are providing this input. We made maybe these brainstormings and sessions of the experts in which we talk and discuss about all of the operations in the world whenever we are trying to release a new version of the standard. We work together and we write the standard together. So we work as experts input and we write the SDI standard. In COPC, they use the inputs of buyers, providers, and senior management. This is a difference. As you can see, they are capturing information about the buyers that are interacting with the contact centers and also with managers and service providers. In the Service Desk Institute standard, we are based on 9 concept areas, the ones that we saw previously, the 9 big areas that I have just been talking about, the leadership, the policy, the strategy. And this is related, as I'm gonna match again the common things of these best practices. Let's see. Leadership for the SDI is right here. And we have also in COPC, leadership and planning. The planning part in the SDI is gonna be in policy and strategy. So with these two, we cover the number 1 of COPC. Processes in COPC is right here in, I can see right here, is this one. Processes for COPC, but this one is quite different. Remember that we are selling, we are collocating, we have debt collection. So the processes for the SDI standard are gonna be matching with the ITIL processes, the framework. We are having IT processes. The people is the number 3 that we have right here in COPC. We have it in managing employee satisfaction, and we have it in people management. Performance is right here in managing information and performance result. And we have also the processes of COPC are covering the customer satisfaction that we had in the customer experience part of the SDI standard. And as you can see, we had a lot of things in common. The main difference is that we are not focusing the same thing, but our practices are common. We can take advantage of this environment of these global best practices and apply what they fit to our operation. It is not a one size fit all whenever we talk about best practices. We need to understand how these best practices can be implemented in the reality of our operations and take the ones that are best fitting to our operation, that ones that add us value, not only for fulfilling the best practices or achieving a certification. I always say the teams that if you want to get certified, yes, it's amazing, but the certification will be the cherry on the cake, because the consequence of having this alignment to these best practices will be that you are going to be having a focus on the customer experience. I hope that whenever you implement these best practices, you get maybe operational efficiency, maybe more satisfied workforce, and also more satisfied customers. This will be the result of implementing these global best practices. Also right here, we have that in these standards, we are measuring the results. Yes, in both of them, we have a complete alignment for measuring the criteria. You have in the COPC at the end of the standard, you are going to see that you have benchmarking, global benchmarking for this one. I'm going to show you. At the end, you have all the metrics of the standard. You have all the metrics, and you right here as an example, let me put it big. You have, for example, the agent utilization of this metric is an efficiency metric, and you have the global benchmarking for this metric is going to be 86%. This is applying only for contact centers, but as well, you have it in the Service Desk Institute. You are going to be having data of the benchmarking of each of these concepts in maybe your sector, your industry, your country, in order to compare how you are performing the things in your daily operations. That's why it's interesting to be aligned to these global best practices, because you can see how they are performing the things in other parts of the world, maybe in your sector, how they are doing the things, learning from each other. We have different conferences in the world for providing these amazing experiences. The team in Mexico has been in all of the conferences that we had in Latin America. They have just been in the one that we had in September, I think so, or in August. And I had the opportunity to meet the team in Latam. So they have been part of these conferences, listening to the experiences that other parts of the world, or maybe Mexico and Latin America have about implementing not only the SDI standard, all of the best practices, maybe experiences, maybe trying to have anecdotes about how they are performing some tasks. In some of the cases, we have anecdotes that they say, I thought that I was the only one that was suffering with this or struggling with this. So we listen each other and learn from the experiences of others in the same industry or in different one. That's why it's interesting to be having these best practices. So the current version of the SDI standard was released on 2019. And the current version for COPC is a 7 that was released on 2021. So these are the latest versions. And now you saw that, yes, they have something in common, but they are not the same. So whenever you think about the service desk, you are going to be implementing the service desk certification standard, maybe taking a little bit of the pieces of the practices that COPC can provide us in the same way as the service desk. Yeah. And right here, you can see how the enablers and the results work together for COPC and for SDC, the service desk certification standard. The goal is to capture the demand of our players. And at the end of this cycle, we are going to achieve the value of every single interaction that we have with our customers, with our players. So as I have just explained you, we have the leadership part in COPC, the leadership and the policy and strategy in the SDI, as well as processes and people. Right here, we have it in the SDI standard. The performance results we are going to be measuring in this concept. And also we are going to be measuring in employee satisfaction, customer experience, and the KPIs concept that it is the managing information and performance result. These are your first two best practices. And later on, we are going to introduce ITIL framework. As I told you, ITIL is a framework that it is written and maintained by Axelos. Axelos is a global company, and also we use the expert input. We also participate persons among all the globe. I had the opportunity of writing 2 books in this release of the current version that it is ITIL 4. I participating as co-author in the high velocity IT and also in the talent management and workforce of the practices of ITIL. And it is an amazing experience because we share with authors of all of the globe. We had persons in the, for example, in the IT high velocity, we had persons that we were writing as co-authors from Greek, from Holland, from other parts of the world, trying to reach each other and had these discussions to provide a complete book, a complete approach for having these digital services. So we had this expert input. We released the version on 2019, and this is interesting. As you can see, we released the ITIL framework and the SDI standard is aligned with this current version because we take the practices of ITIL in order to provide the processes this alignment. So this is important because if we are not aligned to ITIL framework, we are going to be having a different approach, a different culture. So that's why we release in the same year. SDI standard is updated more or less every 4 years. So we are going to be working in this update close time in these days. And we are going to start checking the review and the industry best practices in order to update it. In the services certification standard, we have different steps for approaching this qualification as a team. First of all, we are going to perform an initial assessment. This is going to be how you feel today, how is the current state of the operation, maybe of the Japan player support team, maybe of the Bucharest team, or maybe the Latin America team. So we are going to capture the current state, the picture of how you are right now, in order to work together and implement the corrective actions to achieve our qualification. And remember that this certification is going to be the cherry on cake because I hope that your players are going to be happy. You are going to achieve this operational efficiency, and also you are going to be aligned to these global best practices. And for maintaining the certification, this qualification, you need to work towards every single year with this surveillance audit. Every single year you are going to pass an audit in order to maintain your certification. And ITIL, remember that ITIL certify individuals. We do not have qualifications for teams. If you hear that you are saying, yes, we as a company are certifying ITIL, this is a complete lie because the ITIL certify individuals. You are going to be qualified such as William, maybe as Satoshi, or maybe as Ariana, but not as the Riot Games operation. If you want to certify an IT operation, you are going to achieve maybe the ISO 20000 certification. As a team, this is the most close for having these IT certifications, yeah? And the way they are matching together, as I show you in the COPC, we have for ITIL, governance, plan, and improve. We have the 4 dimensions of IT service management that we are going to be introducing them. First of all, I'm going to mention for you in order to capture this information. These 4 dimensions are organization and people, information and technology, partners and suppliers, and value streams and processes. These are the 4 dimensions of IT service management. We also had 34 practices. These practices will be the set of organizational resources that will let us to implement processes and procedures, and our value chains and our value streams that are going to measure the results. These are your frameworks. Any question with the introduction of these frameworks? Go ahead.
Sorry, I had a quick question. So my understanding is that SDC needs to be based on the framework of ITIL, but it seems like the framework's quite different. We're looking at 4 dimensions that aren't really aligning with SDC. Maybe I'm missing something or getting confused.
No, the 4 dimensions are really aligned with the SDI standard. Let me show you. I'm gonna be moving back. I told you that we have the 4 dimensions of IT service management. They are information and, well, I'm gonna start with people. The people part, we have it right here. People management. This is the culture of the organization. This is employee management. I'm going to put the first one. This is the first dimension. People. Also, we have in the organization and people, we had also the culture of the organization. This is going to be the mission statement, the vision statement, the planning part, and this one is also part of the first dimension. Later on, we need to move to the information and technology. Information and technology is part of this one, the resources. We have right here, capacity, performance, and reliability. This is of the infrastructure that it is supporting the services. We have also the supported teams, our IT service management team, and tools that we have, maybe the system that it is tracking the calls, the distribution of the contacts channels. So this one is your second dimension. The third dimension, I told you that it is partners and suppliers. We had right here a supplier part that it is right here, partners and supplier. We have the third dimension right here, and we also have it with the relationship management, and we have up to here the third dimension. The fourth dimension that it is a value stream, processes and procedure is right here. This is the complete part of the processes, the IT processes. This one is the metrics of the KPIs that we define in the processes. And we also have the culture and the processes right here, that it is part of the processes, procedures, and all the aspects that we are constructing for the IT. As you saw, we had all the dimensions in the SDI standard. This makes sense to you?
Yes, that cleared it up. Thank you so much. Similar concepts, but the terms are a little different. So I was getting a little lost. So
the terms are quite different, as I show you in COPC. Also, the terms are quite similar, but we had a different approach. If I share with you the processes, let me zoom in with the COPC standard. We have it right here. In the introduction part of COPC, they show us it's this one, the one I wanted to have. you have the complete approach of the processes. So let me show you. We have leadership and planning. This one is how we are setting the direction of the contact center or the service desk. We have the same of people. We have the job descriptions, the feedback of the employees, the staff performance is the same. But the difference is going to be right here. When we take a look to the processes, we are going to see the processes for the human assisted channels, the processes for the digital assisted channels, and we are having support processes. The processes are really different because we have a quality management. We do have quality management in the SDI standard, is this one, interaction and quality monitoring. But the approach that we are having in COPC is different. We also have the workforce management. It's part of the SDI. The knowledge management is right here. But when we go further and we check that we have managing vendors and key suppliers, we do not have that in the SDI. Neither we have controlling changes for the contact center, because in the service desk, we are part of the changes. We need to be realized that maybe you are releasing or developing a new feature of the game and you are part of the change. Right here, they are not part of the change. Another process, it will be the data integrity and ensuring the data privacy. We have it as part of the service that we are providing in the service desk. So these one are different. The other different in right here in the COPC standard are gonna be these ones, all of these processes, because we have invoicing clients, providing clients reports, maybe managing clients relationships, the sales process, the RFX processes responding, onboarding to the customers and the programs. This one is the same in the transition of the service that we had in the services. So this is the quite different about the approach that we are having in the contact center. And the performance result, we only know that we need to measure the customer experience performance, the human assisted channel and the digital assisted channel. And you have a quite variety of appendix that we had at the end of this standard with all of the metrics. So that's the difference between all of the standards. This is clear. I wanted to show you this because in some of the cases, they say that they are the same. And as you can see, they are not. Yeah,
it's very clear. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have any other question about this explanation about the practices?
No, that's it for me. I'm okay.
Perfectly, William. Any other question to the rest of the team?
Sorry, so sorry about it. I think this is a new question here, but so should we learn about a whole bunch of the information? So from the SDI, ITIL, COPC, so it's tons of information we are here, right? So I cannot imagine. So I am able to get to know whole bunch of things. So yeah.
No worries. We are going to be taking the important aspects of every single part of the standards. We are going to be basing on the SDI standard, but I'm going to be showing you parts and concepts that are interesting of the other ones. For example, maybe for COPC, we are going to be talking about the concept of quality. Why? Because this concept is really important. The approach that COPC is giving to quality is doing the things right since the very first attempt. And I think that this approach is really important because if you get to some of the researches in the market about customer experience, you are going to see that the experience is based on the first contact resolution rate. So quality, this concept of quality is making sense to the things that the customers are saying. So that's why we are going to take the concept of quality of COPC. Other thing that you are going to learn about COPC is the service journey. Maybe you have ever heard about the customer journey, but the service journey is going to be a little bit more detailed because we had the customer experience is going to be the big picture. Later on, we move to the customer journey that it is going to be the path that a customer is taking, passing from the interactions with a brand, maybe a product or service. And specifically the interaction that we had with the service desk or the contact center for solving an issue or maybe an inquiry is going to be the service journey, considering all the communication channels. So we are going to take a little bit of pieces of all the standards in order you to capture what fits to your operation. And I think that this approach is gonna add you more value that if we zoom in, for example, to all of the CUPC standard and all of the SDI, and we are going to capture only the important aspects.
Okay, thank
So,
you. Sounds nice.
another question, another comment that you have right here. I know that it is a lot of information, but they are the key aspects. Believe me that I suffered when I was trying to summarize all of these best practices. Yeah, everything clear? Let's move further. And I was right here. If everything is clear with the introduction of these best practices, I'm gonna introduce service management. Why service management? I told you that we are providing IT services. And the service management will be all of the organizational resources that you need to provide these capabilities to enable this value for your customers in the MIM or services. We are providing value considering these services. And if we zoom in to IT service management, yes, we are going to apply the same concept, providing value considering the services, but these are going to be IT services. So this is the same, the set of organizational resources, the capabilities that we are providing in order to construct these services. So the IT service management, we apply it to the IT, and we need to ensure that these organizations are looking for the transformation of these programs, and we refer to the digital transformation, but digital transformation is more than technology. We need to think that we need human resources, the human aspect that we saw. We need the culture, the organization, the principles that we are having as an organization to implement these global best practices. And also we are evolving in the way we are performing our works and flourishing these activities. And we need to have a balance between stability, predictability, and maybe we are going to be rising the operational efficiency, increasing the velocity, and taking advantage of this technology in order to set all the capabilities, break down the silos. We are working in some of the cases in silos. Maybe the team in Japan, maybe the team in Sofia, maybe the team in Latam, and we need to break down these silos in order to have cross-functional teams and employ the resources in a more efficient way. And right here, some important data about the ITIL framework, because as I told you, ITIL framework is focused on providing the IT service management. This will be our guidance. We are addressing these services with these challenges. And also our purpose will be fitting in a guidance for this digital economy. This will be designed for ensure maybe effectiveness, having efficient and flexible way of working. Why we are saying that this framework is flexible? Because in other versions of ITIL framework, we need to follow like if this were or this was a recipe. We were building maybe a cake, and we need to follow up step by step this recipe. So in this evolution of the framework, we do not need to follow the recipe. We need to adapt these best practices, take what makes sense to us, and deliver this value in the mean of services. This will be a guidance for all the organization for continually improving the way we are doing the things. So let me introduce step by step. We are going to go from top to bottom to the basic concepts of ITIL framework. These are going to be key concepts for our second and third day. So that's why I am going to reach out this concept. So the first one is going to be the service value system. What we are saying in this service value system, these are maybe the activities that we as an organization need to put together to facilitate this value co-creation by enabling these IT services. So we need to combine these activities and these resources in a flexible way, considering the integration, keep this consistent approach, and we are defining this considering a value focus. How we are going to do it? First of all, we need to understand that our business, our customers, and our market are sending us opportunities and demands. After analyzing and capturing these demands and opportunities, we are going to pass to the service value system. This service value system, the core components are the guiding principles, the governance, the service value chain, our practices, and the continual improvement. With these components, at the end, we are going to translate our IT services into value. Right here, we are going to ask, are we providing value in the mean of the services to our customers and our business? If we answer maybe yes, or we are doubting, maybe we need to go a step back, capture the feedback, implement this continual improvement, and start all over again. This is going to be the mission of the service value system, capturing this information and translate it into value to our customers. And how we are going to do this? We are going to zoom in to the service value chain. These one are the key components. We have several activities for defining the way we are performing the activities. For example, the guiding principles are going to be part of the culture of the organization. We are going to see each guiding principle, and you are going to realize that these guiding principles not only can be applied for the IT, we need to apply it in our daily, maybe in our daily tasks. We can apply it in our personal lives, because we are, as you are going to know, they are simple and they are part of our culture. And let me zoom in. I made a zoom to this service value chain. This service value chain, as we saw in the previous one, we have the opportunity and demand of our customers. Later on, we are going to deliver the service. So these activities, these six activities that we have right here in the service value chain, are a flexible model. Remember, service value chain is the flexible model. We have right here like a cube. We can form a cube and accommodate all the activities, considering the necessity, the impact that we are having to our business. First of all, we need to engage with our business, the customers, the market, capture the information, and later on we can pass to the planning activities. Maybe with these planning activities, we are going to design. After designing, we are constructing the product or service. And after that, we are going to deliver and provide support. You are right here. As a service desk, you are providing the support to the services you are delivering. And at the end of these activities, we have released the product or services. If we capture the information and the feedback of our customers at the end of providing the services, what we are going to have is the question: are we realizing the value, the expected value for our customers or our business? And they are going to say yes or no. Do we have learned lessons about the product or service that we release? Yes, no. We need to improve. This is the last activity. We are improving the way we are performing the activities. And this is the easy way of representing the way we are delivering the services. And interesting, maybe I can have an example for you. I know that we have the Lego boxes. Imagine a figure. We are going to construct a Lego figure. The complete box that we have with the pieces of the Lego figure is going to be the service value system, because our opportunity is going to be constructing the figure. The value will be achieved when we have the constructed figure. But we have some guiding principles, maybe the instructions, the process, the procedures that we have right there in order to construct the figure, the governance, all the details, that maybe the rules of the game that we need to fulfill to construct the figure, and the practices, if we have some resources and regulations to construct the figure, and maybe the learned lessons. Maybe we realize that we can do it in an easiest way, or maybe not doing something, so we can improve. But the service desk value chain that we have right here is going to be zooming in the way we are performing the activities for constructing the Lego figure. We are going to put out all of the pieces of the box, and we are going to start engaging with the figures, planning the way we are going to construct with all of the pieces, design the way we are going to perform these activities, construct the figure, And at the end that we have the figure, maybe we are going to support the way we perform the activities and learn if at the end of the construction of the figure, we realize the value. Maybe we were expecting to have a bigger figure, or maybe we were expecting to have maybe another part of the figure with another expected value. If the figure was going to be a gift for your son, or maybe for a friend, and they didn't like the figure, maybe the value is not going to be expected and achieved, because they had different expectations and different perceptions. This is the easier way for seeing the service value chain. We can accommodate the activities because they are a flexible model. So you can start planning or designing or constructing, and maybe you are engaging at the same time that you are constructing. So this is a flexible model that you can adapt whenever you are thinking about the products or services. The clue will be achieving the value at the end of the chain. And I have been talking you about the guiding principles. Let me introduce these guiding principles. These guiding principles can be used in any circumstances or capabilities that you have in your operation. They are simple. As I told you, you can apply it in your personal lives, because let me read all of the principles. First of all, focus on value. Second one, start where you are. Third one, progress iteratively with feedback. The fourth one, collaborate and promote visibility. Number 5, think and work holistically. And number 6, keep it simple and practical. And number 7, optimize and automate. These are our guiding principles. Do you have any idea of an example that you can apply these principles right now in your operation? I am going to give you an example for the number 5. Right now, with these workshops and learning about these best practices, you are thinking and working holistically because you are aligning to the operations of all the globe. So this is the way that we are performing this holistically thing. And also we are collaborating and promoting visibility to the rest of the teams in the way we are performing the activities, maybe learning from each other. We can see that maybe the operation of Latin America or the Sofia team are having advantage because they are implementing some of these best practices already, but we are learning of how they are performing their activities. So they are collaborating and promoting visibility with the example that they are performing. Also, start where you are. This is really important because you do not need to throw away the activities or the tasks that you are doing. Maybe you are performing some task in a different way, but you can take advantage of what you have right now and start from that, not starting since the very beginning, because you can have a correct approach, taking advantage of what you have right there right now. Focusing on value. This principle is because we saw in this one that we need to realize the value in considering that what our customers and our business is expecting. So that's why our first principle is focusing on value. Are you trying to search for value? Are you realizing the value? If the answer is not, maybe you need to change the focus of this thing. So this one is the first one. Progress iteratively with feedback. We have it also right here. We are capturing the opinion or maybe what our customers think about the service we are providing. They give us feedback and we need to go back and improve all over again and start the planning. That's why we are having the progress iteratively with feedback, because we can learn in every cycle, in every single interaction that we have with your customers, with your players, with the business. You are learning and you need to adapt the way you are performing the activities and start all over again. They are some of the examples. Also, I like this one, that keep it simple and practical, because as I told you, the processes and procedures in some of the cases are really complex. So you need to keep a simple focus of the processes and procedures and analyze if you can optimize and automate. Think every time that you are going to analyze if you can automate an activity, first of all, pass it to a simple way. When you have the simple way of the process and procedures, maybe you are going to analyze if this task is repetitive And also if this task is easy, if they can be fulfilled maybe by an RPA, maybe by a robot, or maybe by an automation activities. Not all the activities can be automated because in some of the cases they do not have a cost-benefit result, but you can analyze the way you are performing these automation activities. Do you have any example about these principles? I know that you apply them. These are aligned to the Lean principles and the Agile culture. Maybe you, in some of the cases, you have even heard about them because they are quite similar to the Lean culture and the Agile methodology. Yeah. And maybe we're going to be ending with the definition of service. It's going to be the last one for today in order to process all of this information that I have been talking today. I know it's hard, but believe me that it is necessary. I told you, I have just explained the 4 dimensions of IT service management. This one is only to you to remember that we are having a holistic approach of the IT services, that we are engaging with these 4 dimensions in all of the parts of the service value system. And we have organization and people, information and technology, partners and suppliers, and value stream and processes. We are going to use it and go deeper maybe later on. So remember these 4 dimensions, they are important. And today I'm going to end this lesson with the definition of service. This definition is a basic definition. This is from ITIL. The mean for enabling the value co-creation will be a service. This will be facilitating us the outcomes for the customer. Also, the definition that we need to manage the cost and the risks. For this definition of value co-creation, that it is a service, we need to understand that we need to capture 2 more definitions. These are the utility and the warranty. The utility will gonna be the functionality that we are offering about the product or the service, meeting this particular need. And the warranty is gonna be assuring that the product or service is meeting the agreed requirements. I'm gonna put you an example. The service is gonna be our internet service that we have in our houses. The utility will be that we can connect to the internet and maybe watch streaming movies. And the warranty will be that if we are watching our movies in the streaming, maybe we can watch it in a correct way, having the correct speed of answer that was contracted in your definition of your contract when with the service provider. So the utility will be having the functionality. Yes, we can connect to the internet, but the warranty will be that we can have the correct speed. If we do not have the contracted speed, maybe we are going to be suffering with the connection, maybe having pauses in the streaming. So yes, we have the service, but we are not fulfilling the warranty. If one of these 2, the utility of the warranty, is incorrect, we are not to be achieving the value co-creation. This makes sense to you? Yes, we are receiving the service. This utility, the functionality is fitting the purpose, but the service is not performing in the correct way. This is a warranty. So we are not achieving the value. The definition, this is value co-creation, because we as service providers need to understand what our customers want and to receive about these needs and requirements. That's why we say co-create, because we work together to achieve this value. If we work by our own as providers, we are not going to know the needs, the expectations, and the perception of the service we want to have. That's why we are saying co-creation. We work together. Yeah. The definition of service is clear for you? Yeah. With this one, we are ending. I know that it is a lot of information for you, but I hope this is easy for you to capture. I'm going to be providing you simple examples for you to understand the way that we are implementing these best practices. If you have questions, please let me know, interrupt me, whatever you need, or chat right here, and these ones are my contact information. If you want to reach out, my email, my social media, you have it right there. Feel free to contact me, and we are going to be talking tomorrow. Do not miss the next chapter. Every single day is going to be more like having more emotions. We are going to be touching the human aspect. Today is the hard data, but later on we are going to have the human aspect of these player experiences. So thank you so much for your effort, for attending this workshop and having this engagement. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I'll be waiting to see you tomorrow. Have an amazing week and talk to you soon.